Hello friends, it's Lauren and happy December. It's officially the start of the Creepmas season. If you aren't already familiar with the term Creepmas, it's simply a combination of two words, creepy and Christmas, and is meant to express this specific aesthetic that combines Halloween with the Christmas season. It also goes by many other names like Gothmas, Hexmas, but essentially it's all the same thing, maybe with just a little bit of a different variation. When I think of Creepmas, I have a few images that come to my mind, like The Nightmare Before Christmas, killer snowmen, and rich men haunted by their apathy. Leaning into those Creepmas vibes is just making an intentional choice to embrace those more like darker, macabre aspects of the Christmas season, and to also just have fun with a seemingly like divergent holiday mashup like Halloween and Christmas. I'm really attracted to that deep contrast between the like cozy wholesomeness of Christmas and then that more like macabre goriness of Halloween. Putting that together is just so fun to me. And there are countless ways to celebrate Creepmas, but I did just want to start off the season sharing a few of my top 5 favorite ways to embrace this kind of like creepy Christmas vibe. My first Creepmas tip is only really useful a few months before the Christmas season hits, and that's going to be to shop for Creepmas during the Halloween season. Now this may seem weird or wacky, but hear me out. What I've noticed in the past few years is that brick and mortar stores do not have a whole lot of Creepmas items during the Christmas season. Unfortunately, finding a lot of like creepy Christmas stuff in brick and mortar stores like Target or Home Goods is going to be really rare. Like it's just not on the radar of people who are making those kind of choices about what products are going to be on those store shelves. So really your best bet is to either DIY items that you purchase from those stores or purchase from small businesses who really cater to that specific trend niche. You could find those on, Instagram. People have small businesses, their own kind of storefronts online, or you can just use the search engine on Etsy and you'll find tons of things. However, with all that being said, I have found creepy Christmas items during the Halloween months where you have Halloween decor items on the shelves of places like Home Goods. I found a gingerbread house that is definitely a mashup of Halloween and Christmas. It also lights up. I got this at my local Marshall's during the months where Halloween decor was out and about. And I also was able to easily find at Target an edible DIY kit to construct my own creepy Christmas gingerbread house. I have not seen the DIY gingerbread house at Target so far as I've been going during the Christmas season. I mean, let me know if you have seen it, but I definitely have not seen any like Creepmas gingerbread houses out when the Christmas decor is at Home Goods or Marshall's. So rule of thumb here, if you're trying to shop for Creepmas decor items in brick and mortar stores, definitely do so during the Halloween season, because during those Christmas months, it's slim pickings. If you're hunting online for Creepmas, I highly suggest you check out Five Below, Hot Topic, Spirit Halloween, the Shop Disney website if you're really into like the darker side of Disney, and then also many small businesses as well have their own Christmas lines. My second Creepmas tip for you is to research the folklore and the pagan origins of Christmas to learn the original dark side of the holiday. This is a piece of advice that I took from myself very recently, and it seriously blew my mind. I recently read The Fright Before Christmas by Jeff Bellinger, which is a very new release, and this was recommended by Sin from Sin's Book Nook. Even if you're not a big reader, I highly recommend this book. It's written in a very approachable way. He's really great at telling stories and doing so in a way that's like obviously, grounded in evidence, but it isn't something that's going to make you fall asleep. My mind was totally blown when I got to learn about the pre-Christian origins of this time of year and how it's actually connected to a more natural phenomenon known as the winter solstice. And because of that natural occurrence, people have had many different ways of coping with that. And all of those customs and traditions are really the origins, the roots of our contemporary ways of celebrating the Christmas season today that many people do in the United States. This book was really fun and enlightening. It's helping me consider new ways to add or expand to my Christmas traditions, from Krampus lore to the popularization of ghost stories in Victorian England during Christmas time. This book really captures in a succinct way a lot of things from the past that, we could still make relevant today if you were a big Creepmas person. But speaking of the Victorian era, I have my third tip for you, and that is to embrace the Victorian traditions like the ghost story during Christmas time. There is a long history of the Christmas time being so creepy even before you have the Creepmas trend. Many historians cite Charles Dickens as being like that one foundational person to really put Christmas ghost stories on the map. I grew up watching many of the film adaptations. My family was really into those stories. He also began editing a lot of other Christmas stories written by other authors or as an editor for a magazine, and really pushed for the ghosts to be a part of those narratives. Themes like forgiveness and reunions during the holiday season were things he really formalized in his work. I learned that there are plenty of female authors who also contributed to the Christmas ghost story genre. Some of those women include Elizabeth Gaskell and also Margaret Oliphant. My fourth tip for you is to watch and read Christmas horror. If you aren't aware, there's actually a subgenre called holiday horror. This has recently come onto my radar and I'm absolutely obsessed. As a person who loves to Halloweenify any kind of holiday, any kind of season, it's perfect for me. Name any holiday and there's a horror movie or book for that. And Christmas is no exception. Some of my favorite movies that are horror or horror adjacent include The Nightmare Before Christmas, 2015's Krampus, and the original Black Christmas, which was released in 1974, credited as being one of the very first slasher movies. In more recent years, I have explored the Christmas horror movie genre, and it's actually pretty lean in terms of what's available out there compared to Christmas horror books. There are tons of Christmas horror ebooks available on Kindle Unlimited or like Amazon if you don't have a membership for that. And if you're looking for Christmas horror audiobooks, Scribd, also known as Everand, also has tons on there. All you have to do is just keyword search Christmas horror in the search box and they'll pop up. I will leave my Winterween playlist linked down below in the description if you wanted to check that out, because there have been several videos that I've made and will continue to make where I'll share all of my Creepmas adventures when it comes to reading things, traveling. Speaking of travel, that brings me to my fifth tip, and that is to check Eventbrite for local Creepmas events in your area. I have already recommended the Eventbrite website when I did my video on Halloween and horror travel all year long, but I think it does really deserve to be mentioned again. In the past, I've used Facebook as a way to figure out like what's going on in my area, my community that I can go to or experience, but I really do feel like in the past year, at least in my area, there's been more of a reliance on events to utilize Eventbrite as a way to kind of easily search any keyword terms for things I'm interested in attending. Some Creepmas events you might want to search and see if they're happening in your local area could be a Christmas pop-up bar. I've gone to several during both Halloween and Christmas. There are awesome themes like The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is always so much fun. There's also pop-up bars that are Grinch themed and just general holiday. I've seen Christmas pop-up bars that include a Krampus theme to it. Like there's just so many fun elements that go into making this experience so fun if you're a cocktail person. And even if you aren't a cocktail person, check out the menu beforehand because they actually might have mocktail versions already on there, or you can request it as well. Another thing you could search up are oddities markets. Oddities markets have just come on my radar and I'm incredibly excited to go check out some of the Christmas versions this year. There's also flashback cinema theater screenings of movies that are not new releases, but are Christmassy or winter. And an awesome thing about this is that these tickets are typically really cheap compared to newer released movies. So you can make a day out of it, get dinner, maybe go to a cocktail bar before or after and go check out one of your favorite Christmas movies, or even Christmas horror movies are part of these screenings as well. In my local area, recently I've seen The Shining being listed and also Black Christmas, so that's always fun. There's also Creepmas themed trivia nights, like I've seen Nightmare Before Christmas themed ones. And then of course, check out and see if your community is putting on a community theater showing of A Christmas Carol. This video has really helped me get into the Creepmas vibe. I hope it's useful for you in some way. I'd love to know, what does Creepmas look like for you? Did I miss anything? I'm really looking forward to chatting with you all in the comments because I don't think this is something that a lot of people are talking about. I don't see a lot of YouTube creators really going into this topic. I've seen some hauls here and there. So I'm really eager to see what it looks like for you all as you remix Halloween and Christmas together. One of my tips was to read Christmas horror books. I recently released a video talking about all the books I plan to read this December that include any kind of Christmas setting or motif. If you're interested in checking that out, I'll leave that right here for you all. Until my next video, I'll see you all later. Bye.